Hi guys, and welcome to a brand new video. Now for today's video we are going to be doing a full face of luxury makeup. Now I've already done a full face of drugstore makeup. I will link that video down in the description box for you. It is titled Glam on a Budget. I wanted to do a luxury version just to dedicate it to obviously the high-end brands as well. So I've got all of my most expensive makeup items that I have in each category in my collection. Some of these items aren't very expensive, but they're the most expensive item in that category in my collection. So let's just dive in and apply some expensive makeup to this face. Now I have already moisturised my face. I do this every single time I apply my makeup. I usually use my Nivea soft moisturising cream and I absolutely love that stuff. So I have already popped that on my face this morning. So let's just dive in to the primer. Now to start things off with primer, I'm going to go in with my Milk Hydro Grip Primer. This I believe is in the 20 to 30 mark. I'm not sure on the exact prices of everything, but I will include the prices for each item down in my description box for you guys, so you guys can get a little bit of idea of how much each item costs. So I'm just going to pop some on my finger like so, and I got this primer for, I think it was my 20th birthday from my mum, and I've loved it every single day since. So, and it is like a really tacky primer. It really does have that grip aspect that it claims to do in the product description, because it definitely is like a mega tacky consistency, and it does just right to your face. And I do apologise if you guys can hear any noises in the background. A lot of people are in their gardens today because it is almost 20 degrees in the UK today, and I did get a little bit sunburn on this side of my arm. It's gone down a little bit now, but it was so sore. It was literally just one arm and I looked absolutely ridiculous. And we are in the UK, we are just coming to the end of week 2 of being on lockdown. So I just want to say I hope everyone is still staying at home and is still staying safe. I feel like our community is really coming together, and we are all just going to come out through this sky high, and we're all just going to thrive in the country and the entire world. So my most expensive foundation that I have to apply today is the Gucci Face Satin Matte Foundation, and I have this in the shade 030. It doesn't actually have a shade name, I don't think, and I believe I paid about £20 for this, but this foundation I know off the top of my head retails for roughly from £50 to £60. So this is a very expensive foundation. It feels very luxurious. As you guys can see, the pattern on the actual cap itself has got all the Gucci logo on it, and at the top it's got the Gucci logo as well, and it is so pretty. I absolutely love this. And I believe I've only used this foundation once, because I can never bring myself to actually use this foundation because it is so expensive and just so bougie. So let's just apply this to my face. I'm going to pump 2 pumps, maybe 3 on my sponge, because the pump on this doesn't really go all the way down. This does have SPF 20 in here, and it says it's UV protection, which is also good. I do like to have a bit of SPF in my foundation, and of course with this lovely weather that we're having in the UK, it's obviously ideal to have a little bit of SPF in your foundation so you don't get sunburn on your face. So I'm just going to dot the foundation on with my beauty sponge like so, like I usually would, and I can't remember if this shade does match me, so I might look a little bit pale with this. And we're just gonna go to town and blend this foundation out. Now I haven't actually worn the Hydro Grip Primer and the Gucci foundation together, so hopefully it's going to work out really well, and we'll just see if we can achieve a bougie expensive look. Obviously all the products that I'm talking in today's video, they aren't necessity products. You don't have to go out and spend a lot of money on makeup items. Like I have expressed in the past over on my Instagram, you do not need to spend a lot of money to get a really nice look. You can literally just pick up some drugstore makeup and achieve the same look. I'm literally just doing this video for the fun of it and show a little bit of dedication to the high-end brands. So now that we have the foundation all blended out, you can see that the foundation does have like a medium coverage. Obviously I'm not going to add another layer of this foundation on because it is very hot today, but I don't feel like I even need it. It is definitely a satin matte finish. It is not like picking up on any dryness or anything on my face. It is looking really, really nice, and I love this foundation so much. It's just a shame that it's so expensive that I don't use it that often. So we're going to move on to concealer now. So for concealer, it was a toss-up between the Too Faced Multi Sculpting Concealer or my Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer. So I went with my Nars one because I haven't used this bad boy in a long time, and I have this in the shade Light to Vanilla. And I know that this concealer costs roughly £24 or something like that. So let's just go in and apply. Now this concealer is not the brightest of concealers in my collection. I tend to use this concealer when I want more of a natural under eye, and this is like a highly anticipated product. Like a lot of people raved about this back in the day, so I only just recently purchased this. I believe I purchased this like a couple of months ago, and I do really like it. I just wish that it was one shade lighter for me personally, but there's going to be days where I don't want too much of a bright under eye. So I'm just applying the concealer where I usually would, and I'm going to take my sponge again and blend this out. I do like to blend out my T-zone first and let the concealer underneath my eyes set a little bit, because I feel like it does add a little bit more coverage when you leave it for like 30 seconds or something like that. And I am just going to take the other end of my sponge and start to pounce this on my under eyes. And I do have really bad lines on my under eyes, so I have to be really, really careful and work quite quickly when blending out my concealer and then going in with a setting powder. And I also have hooded eyes as well, and my hooded eyes drive me insane because they crease instantly, and it's just really irritating. If you've got hooded eyes, guys, you know the struggle. It is just annoying. And I do like to take the excess concealer that I have left on my sponge and pounce this around my nose area, because my nose area is my problem area. The foundation and powder does start to break down because I am a face and nose rubber throughout the day. I just can't help it. I'm always constantly like wiping my nose and stuff, so that's just something that I need to stop doing. So once you're happy with your concealer all blended out, I'm going to go in with the Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder. This is a very expensive setting powder, and I understand why, because it is such a lovely product and the packaging of this is insane. And I'll open it up for you guys so you can see the inside, and it has like a little dip on the inside. So I am just going to take that product, blend out any creasing that may have formed on my under eyes. And I have two powders to use today. I have this powder from Hourglass, and then I have another powder to set the rest of my face. So this Hourglass one I'm going to use just where I have applied that concealer, just to make sure that it's definitely locked into place. So I'll apply it under my eyes, on my chin, around my nose and on my nose. And as you guys can see, I don't know whether you guys can see this, but as I've been talking to you guys on camera, I have formed expression lines on my forehead. So I just make sure that I blend those out and that we don't set those creases on my face, because it's not a good look. And I love this setting powder. I used to use this so much back in the day, and I stopped using it because I started to get worried that I was going to run out of it soon. So, and it is like a powder that is so finely milled, and it just gives you that airbrushed look. I absolutely love it. And I believe I purchased this myself for my 20th birthday as well. I did a massive order on Cult Beauty and just went crazy and ordered so much makeup for my birthday as a little birthday present from me to me. I lie, we actually have 3 powders to use today as well. So for the rest of my face, I've decided to do something different now. I'm going to go in with my Jaclyn Hill Luminous Setting Powder in the shade Do Me, and the packaging of this is just insane and I absolutely love this. This costs about £32 on the Morphe website, and I actually purchased some of the Jaclyn Hill collection from her actual makeup line from her website that's over in the US. Got that stuff shipped in, and it did cost me a little bit in shipping. And then a week later, Morphe tells me and emails me and tells me that they are now putting it on the UK Morphe website. So yeah, then I went ahead and bought the setting powder as well. So I'm going to just show you up close what the packaging looks like. It is so sleek and definitely fits Jaclyn Hill's aesthetic. I absolutely love this. And I'm just going to take a Morphe E3 brush, dip into the cap, make sure I thoroughly coat my brush, tap off the excess, and we're just going to apply this all over the face. I will not try and focus this too much on my under eyes because I don't want too much of a glowy under eye, but it's not like a really ridiculously glowy setting powder. It does just add like a really nice sheen to the face, and I went crazy using this like every single day. And I really want to try the e.l.f. Halo setting powder. It's supposed to be a dupe for this powder, so I do want to give that a go and see and do like a comparison. If you guys want to see that video, like this video and let me know over on Instagram, and just send me a message. My Instagram will be linked in the description like it is with all my videos, and I might do like a side-by-side comparison of Jaclyn on one side and e.l.f. on the other. So just let me know if you guys are interested in seeing something like that, because I have been thinking of different video ideas to do. So now that we have done that, just to take it that extra step, I'm going to go in with my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish setting powder, and this is in the shade 1 Fair, and you can see how much I absolutely love this because I have hit pan really badly on this. And I am just going to take a little packing brush and just tuck this underneath my eyes just to give my under eyes a little bit more of brightening up. And I will take this, see, you can see the creasing on my eyes, it's there. Oh, I hate it. And then I'm going to take the Charlotte Tilbury powder and set my eyes with this. These studio lights are making me so hot right now. It's ridiculous. I've had to shut all my windows and turn off my fan and everything just to film this video because you can hear so many noises in the background. Okay, so for brows I have 2 products that are obviously in my collection that are the most expensive. These aren't by any means really expensive products, they're just the most expensive in my collection. So I have the Urban Decay Brow Blade and I have the Anastasia Dip Brow Gel. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do my eyebrows off of camera just to save a little bit of time using these 2 products, and then we'll dive right into the rest of the face. Ta-da! I'm back and the brows are fully filled, and I really like how my brows have turned out today. Like, I have really been enjoying the more softer, fluffy brow. I absolutely love that. So next on the luxury list is bronzer. And for bronzer I have the Marc Jacobs bronzer in the shade Tan-Tastic. This is an iconic bronzer and I absolutely love this bronzer so much. So we're going to be going in with this today. And then I also have the Natasha Denona Tan Bronze and Glow palette, and I believe this retails for about £60 for this little palette, and this bronzer retails for over £30 I think. Again, I will list the prices down in the description box for you. This is what the Natasha Denona palette looks like up close and I absolutely love it. We are only going to go in with this shade here today just to contour with this shade. And then this is what my Marc Jacobs Tan-Tastic looks like. There's a little dent in here where I dropped it and a little bit of product is just like struggling in there. So, but I also love this bronzer because it has that really nice mirror in here as well. So I am just going to take a big fluffy brush. This is a Morphe M527 brush, and I'm going to swirl my brush in the product, tap off the excess and warm up the face. As Scott Barnes said, we're going to toast the edges with this bronzer. I do really want to do like a Scott Barnes inspired video where I try out his techniques, because I love having like that glowy bronze look at the minute and I want to look like J-Lo. So we will try and see if we can do the Scott Barnes tricks, because I saw Tati Westbrook and him do a collab, and I also saw Laura Lee Los Angeles try it out. So I kind of want to jump on the bandwagon and see, because I feel like glowy skin and bronzy skin is really going to be the aesthetic for this year, for this summer, and also like a really soft and subtle eyeshadow. But as you can see, this bronzer just adds such a nice colour to my face, and this product lasts such a long time. Like the pan size is almost as big as my face, so, and I've had this for well over a year now and I haven't even made a dent in it at all. So you can imagine how much use you're going to get out of this product. And I'm also going to take a Morphe M173 brush. This is actually a concealer brush, but I like to use this brush because it is so nice and dense to contour my nose with. And we're going to chisel out the nose and take it all the way up here in my brow. And I'm going to create like quite harsh lines with this. And I've seen a trick from Sophie Does Life on YouTube. I watched a video the other day on how she contours her nose, and she creates quite harsh lines on her nose using the powder. Takes it all the way up into her brow, tapers it off on the nose, and then she'll go in with her setting powder. So I'm going to go back in with the Charlotte Tilbury, presses the powder over her nose. This is the first time that I'm actually trying this out, so hopefully it will look quite nice. Oh yeah, I see how that works. Kind of saves a bit of time with regards to blending. I like that. And then we're going to go in with the Natasha Denona palette and tap into the bronzing powder in here, and take a more tapered brush like this, dip into the product, and this is like a very pigmented product. So taking the product on my brush, like heavily coating the brush, and tap off a little bit of the residue on my hand just so we don't apply too much. And I'm going to focus this where I would contour, just to further deepen up. And I don't take this shade on my nose because it is a very warm shade, so we don't want to emphasize the warmth on the nose. You want to keep the nose nice and cool toned. Then I'll go back in with my fluffy brush and just mesh everything together, just so we haven't got any blotches or patches or any unblended lines on the face. So I have put all of the products into a basket aside ready to film this video, and I've forgotten to put a blush in there. So I'm going to go pick a blush from my makeup collection. I'll be right back. So I've decided to go in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills blush trio in the shades Pink Passion, and it looks like this. And I believe these retail for £30, and I have two more shades. I have Peachy Love, which looks like this, and I also have Cocktail Party, which looks like this. So I don't really know which shade I want to go in with. I'm going to hold them up side by side so you guys can see the difference of all three. So this is what all three of the shades look like, and I'm kind of feeling this blush trio here, so I think we're going to go in with this one today. And all of these blush trios are matte, so I feel like I'm going to go in with a sort of pinkier highlighter over the top of these blushes, because I do like a more luminous blush. And I'm just going to take a Morphe E4 brush for my blusher, and I'm going to dip into this shade here, which is the shade Rose. Normally I like mix them all together, but I haven't actually just used one individual shade before. So I am just going to focus this on my cheeks. Oh, that shade on its own is really pretty. I actually like that. And I am a blushaholic. I love my blush. I am guilty of applying too much sometimes and looking a bit like a clown, I must say. But I love it. I love the blush. And I'm going to take it on my nose, on my chin, and just across my forehead, just so everything is all cohesive together. So the next product is setting spray. Now I do like to set my face first before I put on any highlighter. I just feel like it works 10 times better and it makes the highlighter really seep into your skin. So we're going to go in with my setting spray next, and this is the Fasali Rose Gold Skin Mist. This probably retails for, I think I paid about 30 odd pounds for this. It's very expensive. I have used quite a lot of this, and I don't know whether you guys can see, but inside the bottle it has rose gold flakes in there, and it looks so bougie and so nice. And this says it has 24 karat gold infused gold flakes, and it has hydrating and priming and setting properties to it. So we're going to set the face, and I always have to mentally prepare myself using this setting spray because the mister on this is like very aggressive, so I have to hold it quite far away from my face. And let's go to town and spray the face. And this has such a nice like citrusy smell to it. I love the smell of it, and I only tend to use this setting spray when I am going to a nice like occasion, like a birthday or going out for the night. So I don't tend to reach for this too often because it is so expensive and so luxurious. And then we're going to take my trusty fan, let this soak into my skin, and what I like to do is fan my face and push the product in with my beauty sponge just so it meshes all the powders together like so. And when my skin is still a little bit tacky from the setting spray, I'll then go in with my highlighter. So for highlighter today I have the very iconic Jaclyn Hill the Flash palette. I absolutely love this highlighter so much. This is probably like my favourite highlighter palette ever to date, and that's quite hard for me to say that because I love almost every single highlighter that I have in my collection. This is what the packaging looks like up close, and look how amazing that looks. It just looks so unreal. And you do get 4 shades in here, and typically I can actually use like every single shade in this palette. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the shade Mesmerised, which is this rosy pink shade down at the bottom, take my blusher brush, dip into that shade there, and focus this just on my cheeks right here because I do like to have like a really nice glowy cheek. And this just sort of like acts as a blush topper to me, and I'll take this on my forehead slightly and on my chin just to mesh everything together, and it just does add a really nice pinky sheen. And when you mix this with a blusher colour like what I've just added now, it does give me Nars Orgasm vibes when you do mix this with a more like hotter pink colour, and I love this combination. Then I'm going to take my Morphe M501 brush and dip into the shades Iced and Gleam, which are these 2 shades right here. And these are baked highlighters made from Italy. So you can tell this product is like bougie as hell, and I believe I paid like £60 for this or something like that because this was the item that I got from her actual website, and then the powder I got from the Morphe website. But you can actually purchase this item on the UK Morphe website if you are interested in this palette. So I'm going to dip into both of those shades, tap off the excess, and go to town and apply the highlighter. And these highlighters just get me every single time. Like, they are just so blinding. Like, look at that. And I've barely like used any product. I've just lightly dipped into the pans and it's so shiny. I really want to try out the potted highlighters because I feel like those highlighters are more blinding than this. A lot of people have said that they are very intense, so I do want to give those a go. Like, come on, this is like intense enough. Like, I love this highlighter so much. This sort of highlighter isn't everyone's cup of tea. Like, there are people out there that do like a more subtle highlighter, but I can never get over this highlighter. I could just sit here and stare at the reflection all day long. I love it. Okay, so now we are going to move on to our eyes. Now, this eyeshadow palette is the most expensive eyeshadow palette I have in my collection. It is not the most expensive eyeshadow palette in the world, but it is the most expensive palette that I've ever purchased. This is the Huda Beauty New Nudes eyeshadow palette, and I love this eyeshadow palette. This eyeshadow palette will always have a soft spot in my heart. I love Huda Beauty's products, but this palette in particular holds so much memories because I actually used this eyeshadow palette to do my mum's makeup for her wedding day and all of the bridesmaids and my makeup for her wedding day as well. So this palette is always going to remind me of that day, and it's just funny how makeup products can hold such good memories as well. And that's why I do like to collect makeup and try new stuff out, because sometimes makeup products like this do hold a lot of value and memories behind it. So this is what the palette looks like up close, and as you can see, this palette has been loved, but all of the colours and shades in here are just absolutely beautiful, and I can't fault the colour scheme of this palette. So let's crack this open and give it a go. So I've got my eyeshadow brushes at the ready. Yes, I know they need cleaning. I have the time to clean them, but I still haven't cleaned them, so I feel like this is probably going to be on the agenda for tomorrow, to actually like thoroughly clean all of my eyeshadow brushes. So I'm going to take a Morphe M441 brush and dip into the shade Play, which is this shade right here, if you guys can see that. There is quite a bit of kick up in the pan with these eyeshadows, but we are just going to go to town and apply. And I feel like these are like the perfect nude colours for any nude eyeshadow look. They're just so soft, so pink, and I love every single colour in this palette. I'm just going to tone down the highlighter on my T-zone because I feel like it's very, very blinding. I think I might do an homage to how my makeup was on my mum's wedding day with this palette. If I can remember off the top of my head, I'm going to try and recreate that moment. And these shades just blend out so easily and so seamlessly. They are absolutely stunning. I love them. Then I'm going to dip into the shade Teddy, which is this shade right here, and use the same brush and start to focus this on the outer parts of the eye, and very, very slightly drag it into the front of my eye as well. But we don't want to take this colour too high up because we don't want to distract from that first shade that we applied in our transition. So I am just layering up the colours, and I'm going to dust my brush off and dip back into the shade Play and diffuse the edge of that out a bit more as well, just so everything is nice and soft and blended. Now I'm going to take a Morphe M456 brush and dip into the shade Tickle, which is this rosy pink shade here, and I'm going to focus this on the outer parts of my eye. And I'm using like patting motions and very, very slight brush strokes with this colour, and I'm going to take this slightly to the front as well, but not too close. And then just going back over with that same brush that we used in the beginning with no excess product on it, and make sure everything is seamlessly blended together. And then lastly, for the matte shades, I'm going to dip into the shade Raw, which is this shade right here, and use this with the same brush that we used, the M456 brush, and further deepen up the outer crease with this. I'm not going to add like any dark deep colours because we didn't do that on my mum's wedding day. We just made it very nice pinky and nude-esque because that was the theme for her wedding, is like baby pinks and like nice nude pinks and stuff like that. So I did try and achieve that with the eyeshadow looks as well. And then I'm also going to take the shade Raw, which we just applied to the outer part of the eye, and run this along my lower lash line as well. And then I'm going to dip back into that shade Tickle here on the Morphe M441 brush, and just use this to diffuse that colour out on the lower lash line as well. And I can't remember if I cut the crease on my mum's wedding day. I think I did go in with the concealer shade a little bit just to adhere the glitters down with. So I'm going to take a Morphe M224 brush, dip into that concealed shade, and use this as like a sticky base for the eyeshadow to adhere to. And this concealer shade in this palette is a very, very thick consistency, so you just have to work like bit by bit because it's not very movable. And the best way I feel like to apply the concealer is to work in patting motions. And I'm going to take the shade Daydream, which is this really nice metallic shade, and apply this directly on top. And I feel like these shadows apply best when applied with your finger. And because I do have acrylics on, I am going to take that M224 brush and apply it in the areas where I couldn't get with my finger, just directly on top of where we applied that concealer. And then lastly, I'm going to dip into the shade Infatuated, which is this shade right here. This is like a straight up glitter shade, and I absolutely love the way that this shade looks. We are just going to apply like a small, very small amount of this just on the top of that Daydream shade. And then I'm just going to soften the edges with that big fluffy brush to make sure everything is seamlessly blended together. And I do have a little bit of fallout on my under eye, so I'm just going to wipe that away. So then for eyeliner and mascara, I have the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara and my Kat Von D tattoo liner. These are the most expensive items in these categories that I have in my makeup collection. So what I'm going to do, go do this part off of camera, apply some lashes, and then we will be back to finish up the look with the lip. Ta-da! My lashes and liner and mascara are now on, and I also applied my Charlotte Tilbury Rock and Coal liner in the shade Nude in my waterline as well, and I do really like this waterline eyeliner pencil. And we're gonna line my lips with my Huda Beauty lip contour in the shade Venus. This is my most expensive lip liner that I own, and you can tell that I absolutely love this because it's gone so tiny. So we're just gonna line the lips. So I've just lined my lips with the Huda Beauty lip contour in the shade Venus. I feel like this lip liner can go with any nude lip that I apply. It is just like my perfect colour. And then lastly, for my lipstick, I have my very, very iconic and very, very expensive Christian Louboutin lip gloss. This lip gloss costs about 60 odd quid, and my mum kindly purchased this for me from Selfridges, and I'm just going to give you an up close of what this component actually looks like because it is so stunning. So this is what the Louis Vuitton lipstick looks like up close. It's very, very luxurious, very, very heavy. It does have like this little hook at the top where it came with like a little rope that you can apply it with, like for your necklace and stuff. So we are going to apply this. I haven't applied this in such a long time. There you have it, guys. This is the final look using my most expensive makeup that I have in my makeup collection. I really like how this makeup look turns out. It is definitely an homage to how my makeup looked on my mum's wedding day. Obviously my hair was different, my outfit was completely different, but it does definitely bring back a lot of memories. All of these products are definitely not necessities to have in your makeup collection. You can obviously create this look using a lot of drugstore makeup. I do like to purchase some high-end brands sometimes just to splash the cash and treat myself to something a little bit more luxurious. I don't really know how to justify like spending like 60 quid on like a foundation and lipstick, but I just love applying all kinds of makeup, whether it's drugstore, high-end. I want to try it out. This is the final look using all of the most expensive makeup I have in my makeup collection. So if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and ring that notification bell just so you guys can be notified when a new video does go live. I just want to say a quickly thank you to everyone that has already subscribed to my channel. I've only just recently hit 100 subscribers, and it does blow my mind. It's not a lot of subscribers, I know, but to me it's like the first milestone, and I just want to say thank you to every view, every like, every comment, every subscribe that you guys have done. It just warms my heart and means the absolute world to me and more. So I'm not going to stop. I'm going to continue to upload regularly for you guys, and a lot of you guys have sent over some video ideas, so I really appreciate that. But if you do have any video ideas, you can comment them down below, or you can message me over on my Instagram, which will be in the description. It is ALYS Makeup, and you can go over and follow me over there. It's a little bit more of behind the scenes action over there where I do try out some other makeup products. So there you have it, guys. That is the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys are having a lovely morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in this world of ours, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Mwah. Bye guys.